Hello everyone, today we're going to be talking about the Atlas EX weapon, which is the other 15-star weapon path that you can go if you didn't want to go the Austere weapon, which was in yesterday's video, the one where you combine Nemesis, Raven, Ares, and Invade weapon. So if you don't want to go that path because there's just too much RNG involved, don't worry, there is another weapon path you can go, which is the Atlas EX weapon, which is guaranteed. However, strap yourselves in as it is a ton of farming. But first of all, I upload PSO2 content daily, so if you do play this game, I really would appreciate a subscribe. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin the video. Alright, so the Atlas EX weapon path to actually make the weapon is a lot more complicated than the Austere weapon. And so I'm very thankful that someone on Reddit made this very beautiful flowchart which explains everything a little bit more structured. Now, if you are the person which made this flowchart, please let me know in the comment section below so I can give you credit for it. So first of all, I want you to see down here, there are two separate weapon paths at the 15 stars. There's the Atlas EX and there's the Austere. The Austere weapon was the one that we talked about yesterday. Super easy, right? Nemesis plus Raven plus Invade plus Ares. Everything plus 35, boom, you've got your Austere weapon. Also known on the global server as the Ophistia weapon. Alright, so this is one weapon path. The second weapon path is the Atlas EX, which is a lot more complicated because you're going to need to collect 3 separate weapons. You're going to need to upgrade them all to plus 35, combine them together in order to get the Lumiere weapon, and you're also going to need to get the regular Atlas weapon. Combine the Atlas weapon with the Lumiere weapon and 400 X cubes and you will get the Atlas EX. Now, it sounds super complicated, but don't worry, it's not that difficult as I walk you through it. But before we do that, let's compare the two weapons between the Austere as well as the Atlas EX, because a lot of people were asking me this question. So let's just compare raw stats first. So you can see here that the Atlas weapon at plus 35 gives you 2069 attack power, 69, which is more than the Austere weapon, which only gives you 1971. So it gives you roughly 90 more power here, alright? Next up is the special ability factor, also known as SAF. You can see that the Austere weapon gives you decreased rate of gear gauge depletion while katana gear is active. So this basically means when you do a perfect counter, you're glowing purple, it's going to last longer, alright? While the Austere weapon will simply give you plus 45 melee power. Next up is the supported S-class abilities. So you can see here that the Austere weapons will support S1, 2, and 3. While the Atlas EX weapon will support 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it includes an extra one, which is S4. So the Atlas weapon provides an extra S ability, which you're probably going to rip right off the weapon itself, unless you're playing a hero. If you play a hero, the S ability on the sword is not usable on the hero, from my knowledge. Do correct me if I'm wrong on that. And last but not least is the potential. So the potential on the Atlas weapon is Immortal Soul. It basically acts as Iron Will. So over here you'll see that increases your power by 10%, survive 1 fatal attack with 1 HP and restore HP at regular intervals afterwards. So it'll give you 1 charge of Iron Will. From my understanding, this can only happen once per map. Again, do correct me if I'm wrong on this. Now for the potential on the Austere weapon, it's basically the Raven or the Nemesis potential or the Phantasmal Darkness potential. So if you're willing to jump through all the different hoops in order to get the Atlas EX weapon, I believe that the Atlas EX weapon is better than the Austere weapon. The only downside to this is you will be giving up your Nemesis and Raven and all those other weapons that you have been farming for or you've been using for quite a while, and they're basically going to be void because the Atlas EX weapon is just that much better. Now for my hero players out there, I have linked in the description below a list of Augment Factors as well as S abilities. So it'll be this site right here where you can look through all the S4 abilities and see which one is best suited for you. The reason why I said the sword's S4 ability is useless for the hero class is because it gives you S4 instant guard photons. Recover 10 PP when performing a perfect guard. However, from my understanding, I don't think heroes can perform a perfect guard. Thus, this S4 ability is wasted. However, what you can do is replace the S4 ability. Instead of using instant guard photons, you might want to pick up lifesteal, which allows you to heal 1% of the damage dealt. However, there is a cap of 30 HP per hit, but since the hero attacks super fast anyway, I'm sure that this might be a better alternative. And this is ripped off the Atlas Gunblade. Alright, with the comparisons out of the way, let's say that you want to go the Atlas EX weapon. Where do we begin? So first of all, we're going to talk to Ziggs, and we're going to go to melee weapons, and katanas. And you're going to see there are two weapons that you need. First one is the Atlas Valua. So this is not the Atlas EX weapon. You're going to need to combine this regular Atlas with a Lumiere weapon. So later down the line in a future update, you'll be able to combine these two weapons in order to create the Atlas EX weapon. So the first weapon of Atlas Valua is super straightforward, alright? All you need to do is get your Val weapon, which will be coming out in the next collection folder. We just need to wait for that patiently. I believe that comes out next week. You'll get your weapon through the collection folder. You need your Chronos Eternity Stone, which you get through your Mission Pass Stage 30, 999 Goldnia, and 999 Saph Hearts. This is super straightforward, very easy to get, alright? So once you get that, you will have your Atlas Valua, which is one part of the puzzle. Now for the difficult part, which is your Lumiere weapon. Your Lumiere weapon, you need 3 different weapons. You're going to need your Justice weapon, you're going to need your Terros weapon, and you're going to need your Schvelle weapon. So these are 3 separate weapons. Alright, so we're going to work from the easiest one down to the most complicated one. So the easiest one is the Jutus weapon over here. In order to get your Jutus weapon, all you need to do is talk to your weapon badge exchange, and you're going to do the Rising weapon badges and Rising weapon badge 4. Right here. Here you can exchange your Jutus weapons. However, it does cost 50 Rising Weapon Badge 4s for each weapon, so you're going to need to rely on your mission pass. So please buy the gold mission pass in order to get your weapon over here, so you can exchange it for your Jutus weapon. Keep in mind that the Jutus weapon will only go up to plus 30, so you're going to need a total of 6 copies of the Jutus weapon, right? Remember, when you first log in, you get 100 of them, and you do the rest of the mission pass, and you should be able to get 300 total, which will allow you to buy a total of 6. As you can see right here, it costs 600. All right, so that is step 1, the easiest step. But let's say that you messed up and you wasted your mission badge on God knows whatever, right? You can always come to the marketplace and buy it. And right here is your Jutus weapon, and you're going to see that the katanas are very expensive. However, let's say that you really did mess up, you can always compensate by spending some meseta and buying the actual weapon in order to get your weapon to plus 35. Obviously, you can also search the market and buy one that is already plus 35, but you know, that's a lot of meseta. It's 95 million meseta for this weapon, so probably not worth it. Alright, next up is your Terros weapon. So in order to make your Terros weapon, you're going to need 2 items. First of all, you're going to need a weapon called the Cortado weapon plus 50 Chaos Stones, alright? So in order to get your Cortado weapon, you can get it through Buster Quest or your weapon collection folder. And in order to get your Chaos Stones, you're going to need to use your Rising Weapon Badges 4 to exchange for these Chaos Stones. It'll cost you 2 per stone, so you do need another 100, alright? So first of all, let's zoom out here. Let me show you the collection folder first. So we're going to come to Officer Prin right here, go to collection folder, and it's going to be in collection folder 2. So in collection folder 2 right here, you're going to scroll down, there's all the different weapons. So again, if you're playing a hero, you're going to need the Golem Bluffs. However, since I play a Braver, I will be needing the Cortado over here. So you're going to need 6 copies of this weapon. So you're going to see here that this weapon from the collection folder only goes up to plus 30. And in order to complete this collection folder, you will need to slay supernatural beings. So supernatural beings are the mobs that are in Buster Quest. So what you need to do in order to fill up this gauge is just spam a ton of Buster Quests. So you can see here that I'm currently farming up my Ivlida weapon, so I need to slay more supernatural. I'm only 15% through. However, I'll need to do this a total of 6 times in order to get 6 copies of this weapon to get it to plus 35. Now, I know a lot of you guys are probably telling yourselves, holy cow, that is a ton of farming to fill up your collection folder 6 times. That's way too much farming. So don't worry, there is an alternative to this. However, it does involve meseta, obviously. So you can just come to the personal shop and search up ill, and you can see that, hey, you can just buy these weapons straight off the market instead of farming the collection folder. However, do keep in mind you will be paying a pretty penny for every one of these because you will need a total of 6 copies. So what I recommend you to do is maybe do the collection folder once just so that you actually know how to do a Buster Quest, and then buy the others from the market, but it will be quite expensive, okay? Obviously, you can look through the market and you can see that this one down here allows you to upgrade it to 35. However, it does cost 5 million. Weapon, and there's a whole bunch of these down here that allow you to upgrade it to plus 35. However, it is quite expensive, 5 million, versus if you bought 6 of these, it would be like 3-4 million at most. So it might be cheaper to make your own. But you know, do the math yourself, see how the market is, and this is an alternative. Now you can see your boy already has a Cortado weapon, and you'll see that it goes up to plus 35 because I saw this on the market and I bought it for very cheap. Keep in mind, you can also buy the Cortado weapons on the market. Just to prove it to you right here, Cortado right here, search by price, and you can see that, hey, there's a bunch of weapons on the market. So again, you can see that these are only plus 30, but there's one on the market right here which goes to plus 35 and is only 600,000. So I recommend you guys to snipe this one right now. It's probably sold out by the time this video goes live, but this is an option because that saves you a bunch of time as you don't need to farm the collection folder over and over and over. So now I want to bring you back to this flowchart. So we got the Jutus weapon, which I explained earlier. In order to get to plus 35, you'll need 6 copies of it. Or of course, you can farm Buster Quest for a drop in order to get it to plus 35, or you can buy it on the market as well. The second part was the Demon weapon, which was the Cortado weapon that I was just showing you. So you're going to see that we need 50 Chaos Stones as well, right? So in order to get your 50 Chaos Stones, you're going to need to come to the Badge of Memory Exchanger again, go to Rising Weapon Badges, Weapon Badge 4, scroll all the way to the bottom, and right here are the Chaos Stones. So you're going to need 50 of these. So look, we're going to put in 50, and 50 of these stones will cost you 100 of these tickets again. So you're going to need to buy 50 of these. However, it says on this flowchart that you can also get it from a drop. However, I don't know where you can get this from a drop. I looked at the logs in Buster Quests and I was unable to find anyone who got these Chaos Stones from Buster Quest. So do let me know in the comment section where these actually drop from. And now that we finally got our Cortado weapon as well as our 50 Chaos Stones, we can finally make our Terros weapon over here. Alright, so that knocks out 2 weapons, the Jutus weapons and the Terros weapons. Last is the Schvelle weapon. To get the Schvelle weapon, first of all, we're going to need to make the Cleasis weapon. So in order to make that, we'll need the Ivlida weapon as well as 60 Cleasis boosters. So in order to get your Cleasis boosters, you can talk to this Buster Metal barterer over here. You're going to talk to her, you're going to go to Buster Metal Exchange, and right here, you're going to see Cleasis boosters. It costs 10 of these Buster Metals in order for one of these boosters, and you need 60 of them, alright? So you're going to need 600 Buster Metals in order to get 60 of these Cleasis boosters. And I recommend that you use this method. There is another method, but I don't recommend it, and that is coming over here. And again, using your Rising Weapon Badge 4s, which you can see right here that you can use 1 Rising Weapon Badge 4 for 1 Cleasis booster. I don't really recommend it because you're going to need your Rising Weapon Badge 4s for a lot of different things, like your Jutus weapon as well as your Chaos Stones, and then later on you're going to need Schvelle boosters as well. So we finally got our Ivlida weapon as well as our 60 Cleasis boosters. We're going to smash that together, get our Cleasis weapon. Then next up is we need to make our Schvelle weapon. To make the Schvelle weapon, we're going to need the Cleasis weapon as well as 60 Schvelle boosters. So what you can do to get Schvelle boosters if you don't want to waste your Rising Weapon Badge 4s is you can come over here to material item and you can exchange 5 Cleasis boosters for Schvelle boosters. So you need to farm a total of 3,000 Buster tokens in order to switch for 300 Cleasis boosters, which then you can switch to 60 Schvelle boosters. Or of course you can just buy it with your Rising Weapon Badge 4s if you want. It does cost 5 Rising Weapon Badges 4 for each Schvelle booster. So we finally have our 60 Schvelle boosters and our Cleasis weapon. We smash them together, we get our Schvelle weapon. So finally, we've got our Jutus weapon, our Terros weapon, and our Schvelle weapon. Make sure they're all plus 35. So let's go over to the flowchart again. So what I want you to take note of is please make sure your weapon is plus 35 when the weapon is still up here. So your Ivlida weapon, your Jutus weapon, as well as your Demon weapon, which is the Cortado weapon in my case, you need to make sure that all 3 of these weapons are plus 35 before you start spending materials and upgrading them to these new weapons. The reason for that is because when they become 13-star weapons, they're going to cost a lot more to upgrade and they're going to be very, very expensive. They will also cost you extra boosters. So please, please, please don't make that mistake. Make sure all your weapons are at plus 35 when they're still at the Ivlida weapon, the Jutus weapon, and the Demon weapon at their base level. So once we finally got all 3 pieces, we finally get our Lumiere Weapon. Then we're going to need to get our Atlas weapon, which is probably the easiest thing ever compared to the Lumiere weapon. Then you're going to smash together your Atlas weapon with your Lumiere weapon and 400 X cubes. And finally, get your Atlas EX weapon. So, to show you this in game, you get your Atlas weapon. This is the easiest thing ever, right? You get your Val weapon to plus 35. You get your Chronos Eternity Stone, 999 Gold Nia, 999 Saph Hearts. Then you go through the Gauntlet to get your Lumiere weapon, which you'll probably want to kill yourself because you're going to be running Buster Quests so many times in order to get all the materials you need, or you just spend a ton of Meseta and you just buy everything you need. That works too, and you finally get your Lumiere weapon, also plus 35. Once you get these two weapons, you're just going to sit on them and you're just going to wait until they release the Atlas EX weapon. You finally smash those two together and you're good to go. So, is the Atlas EX weapon worth all of this hassle? It depends. If you want to have the best of the best and you truly are seeking for endgame and that is like your main goal and how you have fun in the game, then by all means, please go ahead, be my guest. I'm probably going to be going for this weapon because I want to be gear boosted and I can play like a monkey if I have all the super gear, but it's not for everyone. So please, if this explanation on how to get the Atlas EX weapon has your brain spinning, don't worry about it. You don't need to have this weapon, but it definitely is very, very nice to have and is going to be one of these endgame weapons. As I showed you guys at the very beginning of the video, where we did a comparison between the Atlas EX and the Ophistia weapon, you know, it really depends on you. The Ophistia weapon is going to be a lot easier to get. However, there is that level of RNG because you're farming ultimate quests until you want to shoot yourself in order to get your Ares weapon, or you spend a ton of Meseta and just buy the Ares weapon off the market. But either way, both weapon paths, no matter which one you choose, you're either going to need to spend a lot of time farming or spend a lot of Meseta. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about in today's video. I hope I didn't fry your brains with all this explanation. This recording has gone for 53 minutes, so I don't know what the final product is, but this video is supposed to go live in 2 hours, so I'm gonna be editing like a madman in order to get this video out on time. But yeah, I hope that you found this video helpful. If you did, I really would appreciate a like and a subscribe because I worked really damn hard to get this video out on time. Or maybe I'm late, I don't know. But either way, I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye.